Senator Cramer from North Dakota is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Senator Toomey. Thanks to all of you, and congratulations to each of you. I'm going to jump right to, you've been talking about China and the authorization, or really responsibility we gave to the Export-Import Bank and reauthorization to focus on competitiveness, particularly to mitigate some of the challenges of doing work in China. We've also had, I understand, a pretty robust discussion about climate, and so I'm going to try to combine the two and talk specifically at the Export-Import Bank about the opportunity I think that the China challenge presents, and a recognition that transferring U.S. climate guilt through policies that embolden our competitors who have no climate conscience makes no sense. So, given the fact that the United States is the leader in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and China is like the world's worst polluter and accelerating greenhouse gas emissions, is there opportunity within the energy sector, the entire energy sector, to help both develop and then market technologies such as carbon capture, utilization and storage, other clean coal technologies, nuclear most certainly, other clean energies, hydrogen, a lot of emerging opportunities. And so I'd like to hear each of you from the Export-Import Bank just maybe help me vision a little bit the opportunity to solve all kinds of problems at the Export-Import Bank.
Thank you, Senator. A couple of thoughts on that. First, we're demand-driven, so any energy project that comes before the board is weighed on the merits of that particular transaction. XM's mission is to support U.S. jobs through exports. Those companies need to be export ready. So I would think that this was a great opportunity for a whole of government approach for other USG agencies to help along those early stage businesses or technologies that will help transition us to less carbon intensive projects, including carbon capture and sequestration or fusion, hydrogen, et cetera.
Thank you, Senator. I think it presents a great opportunity for U.S. workers and U.S. businesses, and the bank's mission to support exporters that support jobs. I must confess I'm not at the bank now, and if confirmed, I'm looking very forward to discussing this matter with you and getting your ideas, and of course, discussing the matter with XM staff, other members of the board, and stakeholders to find out their ideas, how we can move forward.
Well, thanks to both of you, and you'll be invited. We've had a lot. I helped lead the charge to reauthorize the bank a couple of years ago with Senator Sinema, and the China obligations. It's a challenge for sure. It's an important one, and but so are these other things. And I just think I loved your answer, by the way, about a whole of government approach, because that's one of the challenges I see in our government are all these silos that don't necessarily work together, and we talk at each other instead of with each other. And I really do think there are solutions out there that bridge all of this. With that said, I want to just quickly switch to you, Mr. Harper, to talk a little bit about, I have a number of credit unions that are very concerned about concentration rules, and particularly in the ag sector. In fact, it's so interesting that we have this discussion today. Just yesterday, I was talking about the fact that the crop insurance program, RMA over at USDA, doesn't differentiate between, in its risk management, between confectionery sunflowers and seed sunflowers in assessing risk, but uses enterprise units. I just think we need to do a lot more. So for many of our credit unions in rural America, the lack of sort of differentiating crop types and rather using concentration rules just to sort of lump them all together is not an appropriate assessment of risk, in my view. And I just would love to talk to you more about it when we have more time, but maybe get some initial thoughts about what we should be doing.
No, certainly, and I had a chance to talk to your staff before we began today. Certainly, one of the complaints I do hear out of credit unions is in ag lending, it's our examiners, they don't know the particular crop, they don't know how this type of farm works. And so that is something that certainly I would commit to you, if confirmed, to working with you to make sure that we get more specialized training for our examiners and help in our exams of credit unions in that way.
Thanks to all of you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.